Guys, today is a game changer. We have the ending to Blood of the Dead, and in this video I'm going to be breaking down the Blood of the Dead ending because there's so much going on, and even if you've been falling behind on the story slightly, you might not fully understand everything there is to know within this cutscene. So today I'm going to be breaking it down. The first thing I want to do is give a congratulations to Admiral Baharu and his team. They were first in the world to complete the Blood of the Dead Easter egg. In addition to that, I want to give a shout out to Noah J and his team. I believe Q9Z was on it, as well as Smart Guy. They were also very close to being first in the world. In the description, I am going to link you to Noah J's version of the Blood of the Dead ending. If you want to check it out for yourself, I 100% recommend you watch the ending before you watch the rest of the video. So go ahead, pause this video, go check out Noah's video, then come back here and we're going to be explaining it. Keep in mind, spoilers are ahead. Let's jump into it. I think the best place to start right now is, who the hell is this new Richtofen? I mean, there's so many Richtofen in this story. You have evil Nazi Richtofen, you have good Richtofen, Primus Richtofen, you have future Richtofen, you have zombie Richtofen, you have evil zombie Richtofen. There's way too many Richtofens to keep track of in this story, and now we just have another one to add to the list of Richtofens. This Richtofen is what I would refer to as the original Primus Richtofen, or the Great War Richtofen, or as some people have referred to him, the post-Revelations Richtofen. This is in reference to the fact that we see this Richtofen at the end of the Revelations Easter egg. We complete it, we go back to the beginning of the cycle, to the end of the Great War, and we see that Richtofen standing before the crowd after having just won the Great War. This Richtofen was frozen in cryogenic slumber underneath Blood of the Dead, and I'll admit we don't know why or how he became frozen underneath Blood of the Dead, but he is, and they thawed him out from his cryogenic slumber, and he steps out with this crystal. Now, I should note this isn't the crystal that belongs to Richtofen's staff. Many people have said, oh, this is probably the crystal to the fire staff. No, Richtofen wielded the wind staff during the Great War, which had a green stone, not a red stone. Perhaps it is the stone from the fire staff, but we've yet to see proof of that yet. So this stone, we don't know much about it, other than that it was first revealed to us in the Blood of the Dead music video. Either way, he uses the stone to defeat Brutus, and then he goes on to purify Alcatraz. This is where you see all the souls fly away, and then you'll also notice at the end it goes black and white. This is as the dimension starts to die. And all the trapped souls are free, except our characters, and they think they're stuck there until Richtofen tells them that the future has changed and he has Nikolai read the Chronorium, at which point Nikolai learns his true destiny. At this point, they should go to Garad Krovi and collect Richtofen's soul, and then go to Revelations. But no, the cycle is broken. If they were to continue the cycle, they would go to Garad, but instead they're going on a new path in which Nikolai needs his soul to defeat Monty. And I know what you're saying, defeat Monty? Monty's evil? I thought Monty was the good guy. We're working for Monty. No, Monty is going to be the main antagonist in this new Primus story, or this new final chapter of the zombie storyline, shall I say. This is a drum that I have been beating for years now, and I brought this up in a video I uploaded earlier today. I'll put a link to that in the description, but there are so many clues littered throughout the zombie storyline that Dr. Monty is actually evil, such as the red eyes within Mob of the Dead coinciding with the red eyes that we see on the Blundergat as well as on his lion. We also have ciphers that refer to Dr. Monty as a problem, and even the Shadow Man said that Dr. Monty is the devil himself. So trust me when I say Monty is not as good as we thought he was, and now Richtofen has revealed to us that yes, Monty must be defeated, and Nikolai is the key. So now let's move on to Primus Richtofen, who is in this chair and he's having his blood extracted from him. It's quite a painful process for him. I mean, he's there suffering, thinking he's gonna die, but why is this happening? Why is he in this situation? Well, the warden wanted to use Richtofen's blood as a means to escape Alcatraz. Richtofen's blood is incredibly powerful, and he has this extraction machine. Well, Richtofen ends up throwing himself into the extraction machine as a way to set free the post-Revelations Richtofen, who is underneath within the lab, and he's there in this chair, and we learn that his blood actually has the ability to open up other gateways because of all the ether in it. This comes from a Dr. Maxis radio. Take a listen.
Richtofen, I now believe that either you have been killed or you are currently trapped in a pocket dimension. Now, worst case, imprisoned by those who mean to undo existence. In the off chance that you are still on the move, I may have a solution. The power of your blood could theoretically be used to open a portal and escape your present reality. If you can direct and focus enough energy through your blood, you may be able to tear a hole through the ether and step through. How much blood will be required, I do not know. But given the concentration of ether in your veins, it's likely best to not overdo it. And there is more. I recall you mentioned something about needing protection for you and your companions. You are right to worry. The blood vials alone preserve aspects of other dimensions, yes. But if you were to ingest them, combine their ether with your own, that would be a formidable insurance policy.
So next, post-Revelations Richtofen comes up to Primus Richtofen, and he says there's no need for the insurance plan. The cycle has been broken. You see, the blood was the insurance plan. Remember at the end of Revelations, they drank the blood and they were still there after Monty's perfect world was purified? Well, the blood, in a sense, created the cycle. It was what allowed them to live, which then caused Monty to send them back to the beginning. Richtofen, in a sense, by conjuring up this blood vial scheme, created the cycle, and this came from a selfish desire of Richtofen to not want to die. He knew his fate required him to die, and he thought he could cheat death with the blood vials, and in a sense, he still is. I mean, even as post-Revelations Richtofen comes up to him, he says, "Oh, I thought you were going to leave me here to die," and there's a moment of relief, and then he quickly realizes he's not going to let him down from that chair. He is going to let him die, and in this moment, Richtofen still refuses to die, and he's being incredibly selfish. I mean, he's talking about he shouldn't have to die after all the hard work he put in, the fact that he walks a path that no other can, and he still wants to be remembered, but he won't have it. He's going to die, and he has to sacrifice himself. There is no insurance policy. The cycle must be broken, and in an effort to break the cycle, the blood vials can no longer exist. And this is why Richtofen rips the blood vials off of his other self and destroys them, and has the rest of the characters break the blood vials. If they are to defeat Monty, they need to break the cycle, because if things had continued as normal, if they had just went on to GK like they had originally planned and then went on to Revelations, they would have started all over again. So this is something that could not have happened, and now we see our characters leave Blood of the Dead, except they've all gone in separate directions, which is interesting. So we have Primus Richtofen, who went back somewhere. Perhaps he went back to his own dimension, and then Nikolai goes off somewhere else with the Chronorium. Nikolai is now on a journey of his own. He is the key to this story. Remember in Classified when we had the Nikolai Easter egg where he was actually the blank portrait in the panic room? Well, perhaps maybe Nikolai then goes to Classified, and from Classified he maybe awakens the other test subjects like he wanted to do originally in the Giant. That could be somewhere where he goes, and then it also begs the question, where did Nikolai and where did Takio and Dempsey go? We don't know exactly where they went, and perhaps they could all be going in the same place, and now we'll have a crew of, we have post-Revelations / Great War Primus Richtofen with then the remaining members of that Blood of the Dead crew. They could all be traveling together and just taking separate portals. It's hard to say. And it should be noted, the only reason they were able to escape Mob of the Dead was because of Richtofen's blood. Richtofen being pumped into that machine is generating and pulling a lot of blood from his body. All of that blood has a lot of ethereal energy, which they are using to conjure up those 4 portals that allow them to escape, and also create enough energy for every trapped soul within Alcatraz to escape. And this is what I believe sets up the final leg of the Primus Chaos Ether story, where now Primus Richtofen has finally come to terms and finally sacrificed himself for the greater good of the group, and now Nikolai can close things out. One more thing I want to touch on is actually from the beginning of this map. When our characters first enter Blood of the Dead, Richtofen reads the Chronorium and he says, "My blood. No, you can't possibly let this happen." As in, you can't let this happen to both of us. He knew what was going to happen. That's why he threw himself into this chair. That's how he knew about his other version of himself in the lab. He read it in the Chronorium. And in some ways, you have to give credit to Richtofen, somebody who's been so selfish throughout this story, somebody who has refused to let himself die, even in his final moments, knew what needed to be done, and when the time came, did throw himself in the chair. And I want to leave you with that note. This has been Primus Richtofen's arc, and it's been an interesting one. A lot of people are saying it's incredibly sad to see Richtofen die, and it is. This is probably one of the saddest scenes in Call of Duty Zombies, but just remember where we started. In a map that had characters with no dialogue, no story, few rooms, and a mystery box. We've come a long way. That's going to wrap things up for this video. If you enjoyed it, give it a like, maybe subscribe for more. Be sure to stay tuned as I'm covering the zombie storyline a lot over these next few days. There's so much to talk about, and I'm so excited. I'm going to go, though. Have a wonderful day, and bye.